applause for our first performer, Kay DiMartini.
My story doesn't involve AIDS, so I'm a little at a loss. But what it does involve is a trip to Mexico. So I went to Mexico a couple years ago with a friend of mine, a girlfriend, and she's a big salsa dancer. And so that was our intention, was to go and dance. And we booked actually she booked this house that we stayed at. It was at the top of a hill. It's called Ringo Hill, which is a little odd. It's kind of like where I live in Oakland. But at the very top of this hill, and on the path on the way down was this road that was very gravelly, very uneven, and it was a steep twist down. So we would be up there, and then we'd come down and dance, and then we'd go back. And we met some friends, a couple other women that were local in town who also liked to dance. And I said to them, you know, they wanted to come over and have dinner, and we'd go down the hill. And I said, you know, the hill is really steep, so don't wear high heels. I'm just warning you now, you know, wear flip-flops, don't wear heels. So they came over that night, and we had dinner, and we went down to the bar, and we're gonna go dancing. And of course, they're in high heels. It's like, all right, you've been warned. So as we're walking down the hill, a car comes up this road, turns right in front of us, and we jump to the side, no problem, except for me and my flip-flops. And I hit a curb of a rock or something, and I rolled down the hill. Which would have been fun if I was like 5 and it was grassy, but it was neither of those things. So when I reached the bottom of the hill, I was okay. I mean, my hands were a little chewed up, my brains were okay, but my leg was destroyed. The skin on the outside of my left leg was just missing, and it was painful. It was like a huge rug burn. So I tried to be a good sport. I tried to have some of that optimism that they're talking about. Yeah, that's my part where I put that in. And we went dancing, and I kind of just sat on the side, and everybody was dancing. I did like, you know, chair dancing, you know, that kind of thing, very weak. And the week has started. Now our whole week was going to be dancing, so this was kind of a problem. And so what I found is I would go with everybody to the salsa dancing, and I would just be kind of hanging out on the side with my leg up. But I did meet a lot of people. People were very friendly. That's how they are in Mexico. You know, Mexico is just such a fun place. It's all the colors and the beach and the smells, and people are friendly. And the dogs there are amazing because they're everywhere, and they're just friendly and they're cool. They just come and go. So anyways, I would go and I would have fun at these places with the dogs and people. And one of the people, the women that we were kind of hanging around with, came up to me like the 3rd or 4th night, and she said, you know, I know what you're doing. And I knew she didn't like me because I was blonde. You know, you can just feel it when you're blonde, people don't like you. Yeah, I got that vibe. And I said, what do you mean? She said, you're peacocking. I am not peacocking. And what is it? And she said, that's when, you know, you use something to your advantage to get attention. And that's what you're doing with your leg. Really? I mean, if I really thought about it, if open wounds really worked to get in, you know, really, there would be people with more open wounds walking around, you know? So I was like, no, I'm not peacocking. This is my leg. It's getting better, but I can't dance. So the week went on, and my leg wasn't getting any better, and I was getting kind of worried about it. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to blow it for my friends who, you know, was looking forward to having a good time. So the day before we left, I thought, I'm just going to sneak off to the side and have a doctor look at it to make sure I can still get on the plane and go home. Because this town we were in, it's Sayulita. I don't know if anybody's been there. Yeah, no. All right, you people need to get out. But it's really a nice town. It's an hour north of Puerto Vallarta on the west side. So you fly into Puerto Vallarta, then you take an hour bus, and then you get off, and then it's like a hotel in the town. It's about a half-hour walk. So it's a trek. But I wanted to make sure that I would be okay to fly home. That was my whole intention. So I went to the doctor, and they said, it's not infected. But because you are traveling, you're going to be around a lot of people, we think it's really wise to clean it up and then wrap it. I was like, oh, all right. So they wrapped my leg with, I mean, it looked like a whole roll of toilet paper. I mean, it was just this massive white mass on my leg. And it kind of felt a little bit better. So I thought I was okay to travel. So we went back, I went back to our place where we were staying, and we were going to do one last night of dancing because my friend Rada wanted to dance. So we were going to go out about 10 o'clock. So at about 8 o'clock that night, we're just hanging out, and she was like, wow, you know, I don't feel that good. My stomach's kind of bothering me. And I was like, oh, you want some water? And so I went and got her some water, and she's like, no, it's something. Well, then she started projectile vomiting. Yeah, across the room. It's like The Exorcist. And so I'm getting her water, I'm getting her towels. I'm like, wow, are you okay? And she's like, oh. I said, you know, it's odd, but I think I have like sympathetic problems because my stomach's kind of feeling odd. And it wasn't too long before I started projectile vomiting. Yeah, it wasn't fun. So we are alternating visits to the bathroom. Oh, is anybody here been sick in Mexico? Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. So we took turns and we pretty much cleaned out the upper GI. And then we worked on the lower GI, which was still trips to the bathroom, which was not fun, and the night was wearing on, and we realized we pretty much could pinpoint it to the raw oysters that we had on the beach that day, which I haven't had since then, and probably never will. But we kept going back and forth to the bathroom, and we ran out of toilet paper, we ran out of water. You know that cardboard roll that's in the middle? We split that. Yeah, it was rough. Then we moved on to socks and towels. Yeah, it was a rough night. And we tried so hard finally to go to sleep. And I remember laying there thinking, I'm emptied out, there's nothing left. And then hearing the dogs barking outside. It was like 101 Dalmatians, you know that scene when they're talking to each other? It was just, I hated those fucking dogs, that's all I can remember. I loved them during the day, that night I could have strangled every one of them. But I was cleaned out, and there was no water to drink, there was nothing. And I had a 6 a.m. flight. Yeah, I had a bus ride, I had a flight, I had to come into Los Angeles, I had to go through customs, and I wasn't sure I was gonna make it, but I had to do it. So I got up in that morning, and I packed my little suitcase, and I started walking to the bus. I was so weak and so dry. And then I said a little prayer. I said, dear God, please don't let me shit my pants. That became my mantra, actually, and I said it over and over. Dear God, please don't let me shit my pants. Say it with me. Dear God, please don't let me shit my pants. That may come in handy for you sometime. And I swear to God, no sooner had I said that like 40 times when a guy going by in a golf cart pulled over and he said, "Do you need a ride?" yeah, that'd be great. I got in the golf cart. He was on his way to work, and he had a little name tag on his jacket, and it said, Jesus. And I thought, that's amazing. God sent Jesus to save me. Yeah, I was like, I cannot believe this. That prayer worked. So we got to the bus stop, and he waited there with me, and he kind of hung out. He knew some of the local people, and I'm hanging on by dear life. I mean, I'm really like barely alive. I'm kind of shaky. The bus pulls up, and he talks to the guy, and they're speaking Spanish, and they grab my suitcase, they put it in the bag. I get on the bus, I immediately fall asleep. I wake up, we're in Puerto Vallarta, and I am starting to get my suitcase out, and there is a guy with a wheelchair, and he said, we heard about you, you got a wheelchair. I was like, the power of prayer cannot be underestimated. I couldn't believe it. So I'm in the wheelchair, and we're overpassing all the lines. They're bringing me right through. It's like the handicapped section. I mean, it was on. I was like, what is going on? And as I'm ready to get on the plane, he goes, you know, I hope you're okay, and I hope your leg heals. All of that was because of the bandage on my leg. I could not believe it. The leg that I cursed that whole week because I couldn't dance now was saving my life, making it possible. So when I got on that plane and when I got off in LA and had to go through customs, you can believe it, I was peacocking. I was walking with a limp. I was like, I got some problems over here, people. That saved my life. That's my story. Thank you.